Welcome in to Holcomb, Kansas. I'm Jackson Schneider, and this is the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff here as the 2-0 Eagles of Colby take on the 1-1 Longhorns of Holcomb here in GWAC play. The Longhorns coming off of a 14-3 loss last week on the road at Scott City, while Colby is coming off of a 16-8 win on homecoming back at Denon Field last week. Colby will get the ball first to start this ball game here in just a few minutes as we get set for action here. Lots of games going on in the area tonight, and we'll keep you updated on all those scores throughout, both via our network of broadcasters throughout the GWAC as well as via Scores in Kansas on Twitter. So we'll keep you updated not only with our game, but games around the state as well. And then make sure to stay tuned after the Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show and tune into the Rocking M Media Scoreboard show on this station as well. So plenty of action to keep tabs on here tonight, but let's focus in on our game. Again, Colby is 2-0 and coming off of that win against Hugoton, and they are looking to get the offense back on track after they started out the season so well, putting up 36 points on the road at Ulysses, but starting off so quickly last week against Hugoton, but not scoring in the second half at all, and no touchdowns after the first 2.5 minutes of action in the game. And Holcomb's defense will be one of the strongest that Colby has lined up against so far this year, so it will be an interesting challenge really on both sides of the ball, but specifically for this offense that we will see first as they look to get back on track and move on to 3-0 here tonight. Colby is coached by Reese McKinney. He's in his third season, posting a record of 16-6 overall as the head man here in Colby, while Holcomb is led by Coach Kent Teeter. He's in his sixth season here with the Longhorns, posting a record of now 50-11 with a state championship under his belt as well. So very well-tenured coach across the sidelines here. But these two rivals are just about ready to go. Colby has taken the field and are ready to return the kick, but Holcomb has yet to take the field. So we await them to get this one underway. This will be the 12th meeting all-time between the two schools. Colby won last season in a back-and-forth affair by a score of 38-34 back at Denon Field, but Holcomb has really led the series most of the way since these two teams started playing. They lead the series heading into tonight with an advantage of 8-3 over Colby. So the Eagles will look for their second straight win in the series. That would be the first time in the history of this matchup that Colby would have won in back-to-back seasons. So that is something to watch for here. Colby in their road whites, white jerseys, black numbers with orange trim on those numbers, black helmets with the orange Power Eagle and those black pants with a white stripe, while Holcomb is in the all-black tonight, black lids with the H logo, white numbers, and orange trim as well. So we are getting set for kickoff here in Holcomb. Colby will work left to right as we view it here from the stands. And we are ready to go. Kicking off is Edgar Ramirez, and this one is good distance, taken around the 15-yard line, right up the middle. This is Mason Wright. He angles to the outside and is going to be driven forward. A solid return out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. So solid field position for Colby on their opening drive. And the tackle will be credited to the Holcomb Longhorns, Miguel Medina, as we will have our first offensive snap of the ball game. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line of Colby. working with the sun at their back here in the opening quarter. That could be a factor here before the sun goes down. Myers out of the shotgun. Stapp in motion to the left. Here's a snap and a handoff to Hagen Bowie off the left tackle. He's going to be hit immediately and get about a yard or two. Not much, but a solid first gain when you keep it in between the tackles. So it will be 1st down and 8. So 2nd down and 8 as Myers brings the call in. Peyton Wallmeyer will be split out to the near side, as well as Calvin Stapp. Far side, Thane Wildeman. Mason Wright is the slot. He's in motion across. Snap to the shotgun in Myers. He rolls to his right, throws across his body. This one is up for grabs, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver in Mason Wright, right at the sticks and on the sideline, but that will bring up a 3rd down and 8. Ryan Myers on the season has been really solid throwing the ball in a small sample size, 15 of 19 for 113 yards and 2 scores. It's good for a completion percentage of 79% heading into tonight. Same look formation-wise as Myers takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, and Bowie bursts forward. He's going to be close to a 1st down, but the ball comes out. Right at the end of the play, the ball comes out, and it looks like Holcomb comes up with it right at the sticks. That was a solid carry, a gain of about 7. But they're going to say that Bowie was down. So a break there. That'll bring up a 4th down and a yard here for Colby. They're going to go for it. Offense back out onto the field. 4th down and 1 from the 35-yard line. Ball right near the middle of the field. Snap to Myers, handoff to Bowie up the middle. He lunges forward, and he's got the 1st down. Out to the 38, he picks up 3, and that is a 1st down for Colby. Eagles now a perfect 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions. That's actually something that they've done very well throughout this season. Now 7 of 12 on 4th down attempts, while they are 3 of 22 on 3rd downs. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Stapp motion to the right side. Myers 3-step drop. Looks long. Wheel route to the near side. Stapp comes into it and hauls it in. To the 30. He's spun down. And that is an outstanding adjustment mid-flight by Calvin Stapp. As Myers completes it to Stapp to the 30-yard line. That is a pickup of 32 yards. So, 1st and 10 there. And a snap, and before we can get going, a flag flies, and it looks like it'll be false start on Colby. Our first penalty flag of the ball game. So that's what it'll be. Back it up 5 yards there. Last week, Colby penalty-wise, 6 for 45 yards. That again, their first here tonight. With 9:40 to go here in the opening period, still no score. Colby on their opening drive. Here's a snap and a handoff to Stapp to the left side. Olays one man, gets across the 30-yard line. Solid pickup there. So they were on the 35.5. This gets to about the 29-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 6 there for Stapp on the carry. So 2nd down and a long 8 here. Myers again will take the snap. He'll roll to the right, looking to Mason Wright, and that's in and out of his hands and incomplete. And that'll bring up another 3rd down here for Colby. 3rd down and about, we'll call it 8.5 again, as Myers and the rest of the Colby offense look to the near side to get the call. 9:10 to go here in the opening drive. Eagles get set, again working left to right as we view it. Bowie motions in the front. Handoff is to Stapp up the middle. Bowie clearing the way. Stapp across the 25 near the 20-yard line. That's going to be close to a first down. And it should be enough for a Colby Eagles first down right there. They'll give him the 20-yard line, a pickup of 9 for Calvin Stapp on third down. So 1st and 10 for Colby from the 20-yard line, their first time into the red zone this evening. 8:40 to go here in the first quarter now. Heavy set load to the left side as Stapp is on the left hip of Myers. But we have a whistle and a timeout called by the Eagles. That is their first timeout of the half. So 8 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Colby moving right along here. They've got the keys out on this drive. They also have the wind at their back here. They haven't attempted a field goal or an extra point so far this season. So that's probably at the back of their minds, but you're right on the edge of scoring territory here on your opening drive. Anytime you can get points to start off a ball game, especially on the road against a team as strong defensively as Holcomb, you got to take them where you can get them. The Eagles will head out back to the field here on the left hash. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 20. Looking for the game's first points here. Stapp and Wallmeyer split out to the near side here. Mason Wright is a down tight end. There's a snap and a play-action look. Myers rolls to the right and throws. This one's going to be caught right near the first down sticks, as that one is completed to Hagen Bowie. About a yard on that one, so not a lot. That one fooled me on the roll out there. Came right in near the original downline marker, so just 1 yard. Second down is Stapp in motion. They hand it off to the near side, and Mason Wright has stood up on the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten about a yard, if that. They'll say no gain for Mason Wright there. And that will bring up a third down here for Colby. Third down, 9 from the 19. 7:40 to play here in the first quarter. Thane Wildeman will split out to the far end. Stapp slot right. Bowie on the left hip of Myers here out of the gun. Now Stapp motions to the left. They hand it off to Bowie right up the middle. Shreds one man inside the 10. That's going to be a first down for the Eagles. And it is just the Hagen Bowie show here early. A solid run. A gain of 12 there. And he just continues to shoulder a heavy load for Colby here early in this season. Has over 200 rushing yards and a score. 1st and 10 from the 7. 1st and goal, rather. Myers takes the snap, hands it to Stapp on the left side, tries to stretch to the out. To the corner of the end zone. Did he get in? Yes, Calvin Stapp finds the end zone. He tiptoed the sideline, just barely getting inside of the pylon and putting Colby on the board. A 7-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles strike first. So Colby will line up with 7:02 to go here in the first quarter. The Eagles will line up for a 2-point conversion try. Myers out of the shotgun. Takes the high snap, hands it off to Bowie. Shoulders one man, reaching forward. Did he get in? No, they say just short, so the try is no good. But Colby will take a 6-0 lead. A 5-minute drive that amasses 64 yards and a 7-yard Calvin Stapp touchdown run. We'll go ahead and take our first break of the ball game. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. All right, I'll try and turn it up a little bit. I'm just really worried about messing up the audio feed to the YouTube.
Let's go, boys. Go hit somebody.
Okay, I'll try and work on that. I don't know what the issue would be, but... Okay. Welcome back into Longhorn Stadium here in Holcomb. I'm Jackson Schneider. Eagles taking a 6-0 lead on their opening drive of the ball game. We thank you for sticking with us. A little bit of a rough connection down here in southwest Kansas as the kick is a low line drive. And it's fumbled near the 22-yard line, now picked up and sent to the outside. But Holcomb's got the angle down the sideline to the 30, finally ripped out of bounds near the 35-yard line. An outstanding return there. We'll see where it's marked. And who was on the return there, as I was unable to see the number. But it was fumbled early, but he picked it up and ran around the outside down the far sideline. And Holcomb, thanks to that solid return, will start at the Colby 34-yard line. So great starting field position for the Longhorns, who are playing from behind now. As the quarterback in hands takes the snap and hands it off up the middle. And this one broken right up the middle by number 30. Or rather, I think that's 38. And if that was Drew Hill, his first carry of the season, and it was. So we talked to Kirk Hutchinson early in the season, or earlier in the day, excuse me, and he said that Hill was injured as he picks up about 10 yards on that one and a first down. Here's the handoff this time to Colby Johnson, and he's got a huge area of running room to the outside, and he is all the way in, a 24-yard touchdown run. So just like that, Holcomb answers, and it's 6-all with 6:10 to play in the first quarter. 52 seconds off the clock, including the kickoff, and that great field position there for Holcomb after the great return led to that touchdown, and it's 6-all. Now Holcomb will line up for the extra point as Edgar Ramirez will handle the kicking duties. Snap and the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. So Holcomb takes an early 7-6 lead, and we'll go ahead and keep it right here for you. So just like that, a counterpunch for the Longhorns after that long 12-play touchdown drive for Colby. It takes just 2 plays to cover the 34 yards and score, capped off by that 24-yard Colby Hands touchdown run. So as I was saying earlier, prior to that touchdown run, Drew Hill missed the first 2 games of the season for Holcomb with a hamstring injury that we learned about while talking to Kirk Hutchinson, the radio voice of the Holcomb Longhorns. And his first carry went for 10 yards and a first down. And then Colby Hands broke one off tackle to the left side, and really there was just nobody home. Great downfield blocking by the Holcomb offense. And now Colby ready to return again, working from left to right. Ramirez, who just kicked the extra point to give Holcomb a 7-6 lead. will send it deep once again.
Setting up to kick off to the Longhorns.
Here's what I think, Justin. Here's what I think happened on the rip ball.
So Ramirez sets it up for the high short kick. This one taken around the 20 by Mason Wright on the sideline. Gets one block, reverses his field to the middle. He's got plenty of room. Bursting out with a flag coming in late. He's tackled right around the 40-yard line. We'll see if that one comes back a little bit, as where the flag was thrown, that leads you to believe there was a holding call, but we'll wait the official ruling.
Let's go, you all right? Come on now.
So at the end of the run, it was just across the 40, and they'll march this one back a good 10 yards. The second penalty of the ball game for the Longhorns, for a total of 15 yards in the game now.
Go offense, let's go here!
So Colby will start at their own 32-yard line. Two receivers to the near side. Myers out of the gun, motions Mason right off of his left hip, now hands it off to him up the middle, and he's really got nowhere to go. Stood up in the backfield by the Holcomb defensive line. They'll credit Oz Perez with the tackle there. Coming into tonight, Perez had 18 tackles, 9 of them solo. No gain on the play there for Colby.
Second down and just a little bit more than
So that was Wright's second carry. As now receivers bunch set to the near side. Haven't seen this a ton. Now a pitch to the near side is taken and being brought down in the backfield with a flag coming in late. A trio of Longhorns bring down Mason Wright for the loss. But we'll see what the flag is here. As the powwow of referees talking this one over. And here comes the call. And they'll call a procedure penalty on Colby, which, if there was a false start or a procedure penalty, there shouldn't have been a play to begin with. Any offensive penalty like anything like that should be blown dead before the play starts, but instead they will decline the penalty. So it'll be 3rd down and 17 after the loss of 7. 3rd down and 17 from the 26-yard line. Or it should be 15, so the scoreboard is lying here. Myers takes the snap, rolls out, makes one man miss, and he's hit, and the ball is loose, and Holcomb is going to fall on it. In great field position inside the 20, around the 15-yard line. A fumble in the first turnover of the game sets Holcomb up with yet another short field. So we'll see where they mark this one. It should be right around the 15-yard line, and that's where Holcomb will start. So Holcomb gifted great field position yet again after the turnover there. And the Colby defense will be tested yet again here. Here's the snap to hands. And a whistle and a procedure penalty that will be on Holcomb. They've had some serious penalty problems through their first 2 games of the season, have Holcomb, as they'll back them up 5 yards here, their first penalty of the game. So far this season, 17 penalties, 112 yards in total. So Holcomb has really been bitten by the penalty bug. They'll back him up 5 yards to the 20. It'll be first down and 15 from there. Hands will take the snap out of the gun, hand it off to Hill on the handoff there to the outside. He loses the ball late, but they'll rule him down. He's stopped near the line of scrimmage. So it'll be second down and 15. Or rather 16. They'll say a loss of a yard on that one. So second down and about 15 and a half, really, once you find the nose of the football here. As Ramirez will come to the near side, joined by two other Holcomb receivers. Devin Hill, the tight end, actually going to motion back to the right side now. As the shotgun snap will be taken and rolled out to the right by Hands. He'll throw, looking for his man, and that one just passed the outstretched hands of Drew Hill, the intended receiver, who motioned across the formation and then took about a 10-yard out there, just past him. And that'll set up a third down and 15. The first third down faced by Holcomb in the ball game. As the sun beginning to set here in southwest Kansas. Ramirez again to the near side, trips to the far end though, as Drew Hill off the left hip of Colby Hands. Here's a snap and a screen pass to the left side for Drew Hill, and he's going to be stood up after a gain of about 3 or 4, and that'll bring up fourth down. Ryan Myers, the defensive back in on the tackle. They'll say a gain of 2 yards there.
Hey, big stop, let's go!
So fourth down, and Holcomb will go for it. They do have a decent kicker in Ramirez, but at this point, a little too far out, as Hands will take the snap out of the shotgun. 2 down tight ends to either side, and a hard count will bring them just a little bit closer. Offsides on Colby as the entire defensive line jumped in a bit of a mental lapse there, as Holcomb had gone on a quick count every play thus far, so caught Colby sleeping. That'll be a 5-yard penalty, their 4th of the game. And that'll make it 4th down and 18. Or excuse me, 4th down and 8. 4th down and 8. From about the 13-yard line here.
Get the ball, let's go!
Motion man across the formation. Hands will throw over the middle, and his man wasn't looking. So Colby gets a 4th down stop. The intended receiver was Devin Hill, the tight end, right at the seam, but he wasn't looking at all, wasn't expecting a pass. And Colby will take over from there.
Move the ball now, let's go!
So they give Holcomb great field position, but they actually only gain 2 yards on the drive. And so Colby will take over at their own 13. 2:21 to go here in the first quarter. Holcomb up 7-6 as Myers takes the snap and hands it off left side to Stapp. He cuts it up the middle for a decent gain there. He'll pick up about 5 yards.
Take it back now, let's go!
So 5 yards for Calvin Stapp. That's 4 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown so far. For those of you keeping track at home, as we're now under 2 minutes to go here in the opening stanza. Myers takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Bowie, and he's going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage, but the big body of Bowie will fall forward for about a yard or 2. They might give him 3 here, and that should just be even further proof of the running power of Hagen Bowie, and they will. That'll bring up third down here. Third down and 2 from the 21 of Colby, as Holcomb will switch around matchup-wise defensively, sending Ramirez to the far end As the motion man is snapped to the left side, they hand it off to Bowie, and a bull rush of Holcomb Longhorns will stop him for about a loss of a yard or so, depending on the spot here, and that'll force a 4th down.
They know that it's coming.
So he'll lose about a yard there, and Colby will be forced to punt. Zach Castiglione with his heels on his own 5-yard line here. Snap will come from Aaron Kurth. Good snap. Castiglione with a rocket of a punt. Landing about the 35-yard line and bouncing to a stop at the 34-yard line of Holcomb, and that was an absolutely outstanding punt to flip the field there by Zach Castiglione, the sophomore.
Nice kick, Zach!
So that is a great job there for Colby, who trades 3 and outs there with the Longhorns and sets them back with bad field position comparatively for their first two drives, with 24 seconds to go here in the first quarter. They'll start at their own 34-yard line here for their 3rd drive of the game. Again, Holcomb on top 7-6, thanks to the 24-yard touchdown run from Colby Johnson. Hand off to the near side. Penalty flag out as Drew Hill rushes out across midfield. He'll pick up about 16 on the carry, but that should be coming back with a holding call. So it'll back him up here as we await the official hand signal from the head referee. It'll be a holding call as foretold. And we'll see where it took place and where they'll march it back.
I was talking about our DN, maybe not have him wrong on it.
They'll mark it at the 26, so a loss of about 8 due to the penalty. Second penalty of the game for Holcomb, so it'll be 1st and 18 from the 26 of the Longhorns. 15 seconds to go now with the clock running in the first quarter. Snap and a handoff to Hill, and he's going to be met in the backfield by Peyton Wallmeyer, and a tackle for a loss. And that will end the first quarter of play. A solid play there by Peyton Wallmeyer, as the siren from the scoreboard will mark the end of 1. So Holcomb on top, 7-6 over Colby here after 1 quarter in Holcomb. But we'll go ahead and take a short break and be back with the second quarter. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Okay, I think I figured out what it was. The master output, when I turn it up a little, I also redialed you, so that might have helped. So I'll try that. Yeah, so it was either that or I turned up the master volume, which might clip it a little bit on the YouTube stream a bit, but it should still be it should be better on your end for sure now. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome back to Holcomb, Kansas. I'm Jackson Schneider. Eagles and the Holcomb Longhorns in a tight one here after 1 quarter. Holcomb on top 7-6. And they've got the ball now flipping the field and working from left to right as we view it. They've got second down and about 18 from their own 25-yard line. It should be 2nd and 19, excuse me. And here comes the first snap. A low one pitched out to the left side for Drew Hill. He's going to try and get the corner, but he's going to be stacked up again and brought down. He might have gotten a yard, if that. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and very long. Third and about 18 from the 26. Drew Hill with 4 carries so far. He had a 10-yard run on his first one. Since then, runs of -1, -1, and 1. So Colby has really shored things up, slowing down the running attack here. And the receiver comes to the near side with 2 others as a rollout here from Hands, throws, and it's caught. And stood up by Devin Hill as Calvin Stapp came in and delivered a blow. And that'll force 4th down after a solid gain on the completed pass. And they're going to spot him around the 40-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 4. So a gain of 12 on the pass there.
4th and 5 for your Horns. Looks like they're going to punt.
So 4th down here. Fans saying watch the ball here as the punter will take the snap, and this one is high and terrible. It won't even get to the line of scrimmage as it bounces short of the sideline, and it'll actually be a punt of about -2 yards. So a very unfortunate punt there for the Longhorns as Trey Cox, the senior punter, hit that one off of his front toe straight up in the air, and it took a backwards bounce, so Colby will take over in outstanding field position. So Colby with great field position right around the Holcomb 37-yard line, and that's where they'll start, looking to take the lead here. Bowie motions to the right side. Here's a snap and handoff to Stapp. Right up the middle, fighting forward, but he's going to get about a yard or 2. Right around the 35-yard line, 35 and a half. So they'll say 2 yards for Stapp there. Stapp with the lone score for Colby here tonight, a 7-yard touchdown run on the opening drive of the game. So far tonight, 5 carries, 29 yards, and that touchdown, as it's now 2nd down and 8 for the Eagles. Ball on the 36 of Holcomb. Here's the snap to Myers. 3-step drop. Looking, now rolling to his right. He's got a man in Stapp, and this one's going to be tipped up but caught by Calvin Stapp. The defender in Trey Cox tipped it up in the air, nearly picked it off, and Stapp came down with it. Outstanding play there, and that's why you practice the tip drill. And they'll mark a 1st down here to the Holcomb 28-yard line, a pickup of 8 yards. Or excuse me, we'll see where the official spot is. They'll say the 26, so 10 yards on that one. So 1st down there. 1st and 10 for Colby here at the 26. Motion man is Stapp. They'll hand it off to Bowie. He stutter steps, and he's going to be hit and dropped after a gain of about a yard. So Hagan Bowie continues to get the majority of the carries between the tackles, as his big frame is really tough to stop. We talked to Coach McKinney before the game, and he had talked about how he would not want to stop him because of his toughness and his knack for just delivering the blow rather than letting someone tackle him. We'll see what the Eagles do on 2nd and 9 here from the 26. A snap and a handoff to Stapp. He bounces it to the outside. Great block on the outside edge, and he is going to take it to the house. A 26-yard touchdown run. Has a great block on the outside edge. I believe it was Mason Wright. Sealed the touchdown block there as he came up and got in the way of the nearest defender. A 26-yard touchdown run. And Colby is back out in front. A 12-7 lead, 8:22 to go here, 2nd quarter. Now the Eagles will go for 2. So Calvin Stapp's second touchdown of the ball game. Ryan Myers will take the snap, throw an out route to the right side, and that one is nearly picked off and dropped. So the 2-point conversion is no good, but Colby takes the lead. 8:22 to go, second quarter. And again, a 12-7 Eagles lead. We'll take a short break and be back in a moment. I'm Jackson Schneider, and this is the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride.
It didn't even get blocked. He just kicked it straight up in the air.
Welcome back to Holcomb, Kansas. I'm Jackson Schneider. The Colby Eagles on top, 12-7, with 8:22 to go, second quarter. As Calvin Stapp has 2 touchdown runs, distances of 7 and 26 yards. And Colby is back on top again, 12-7. Mason Wright set to kick it off from right to left. And this one is a decent kick towards the sideline, but it will bounce out of bounds around the 15, so that procedure penalty will put it back to the 35 for Holcomb, and that's where they'll start the drive. If you're just joining us, Colby took their opening drive, 12 plays and 64 yards for a touchdown, and then Holcomb returned the ensuing kickoff to the 34-yard line of Colby and scored 2 plays later thanks to a 24-yard Colby Johnson touchdown run. So Holcomb will start from their own, or rather they'll re-kick here. They elect to re-kick. Typically you just take the good field position around the 35, but I guess based on the return they had earlier, they're confident in their ability if Colby would just keep the ball in bounds here, but we'll see what Coach McKinney and Mason Wright have in store on a second try here. This one right down the middle will be taken around the 20-yard line, up to 30, to the 35, to the 37. So after it's all said and done, the Longhorns gain about 2 yards on the re-kick, as I believe Miguel Medina brought that one back. So they'll start at their own 37. So far in the game, the Longhorns are just 2 of 4 passing for 14 yards, but have relied heavily on the run, but have been stood up for the most part after the first 2 runs of the ball game. Here's a 1st and 10 play with Drew Hill on the right hip of Kobe Hands. And a miscommunication, and Hands is going to make one man miss, but he's going to be brought down hard. And I believe that's Peyton Wallmeyer who was in there. As pre-snap, Drew Hill moved from the left hip to the right hip of Kobe Hands, and when the ball was snapped, Hands worked to his left, and there was no running back to be found. So they say no gain for Hands there. So 2nd down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Coming to the near side is Levi Knoll. Split tight end is Devin Hill. Here's the snap and a throw, and it's going to be batted down at the line of scrimmage, nearly picked off. And guess who it is? Peyton Wallmeyer making himself known here early. Multiple tackles, and he nearly had that one for what would have been a defensive touchdown, as nobody was in front of him. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
It might have been like hot potato, like, what the crap?
So Colby looking to shut down another Longhorn drive. The last time Holcomb was forced to punt, it was a negative yardage punt from Trey Cox. So we'll see how they approach it here. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 on the far end. Hands takes the snap and rolls to his right. Pressured by one, he steps up and runs and takes a huge blow by a Colby Eagle, and that's Landon Reinhardt delivering the wood. An absolute blow there, forcing a 4th down. A pickup of maybe 3 yards. So Hands gets 3 yards, and Landon Reinhardt makes him pay. That brings up 4th down, and Trey Cox will get his try at redemption after the rough punt on his first try of the night. 2 Eagles back to return this one. Some pressure in the backfield there, but this one a much better punt. That'll go out of bounds, or rather it'll bounce near the sideline, and Holcomb will let it go near the boundary. I thought it was going to go all the way as it was just sailing, but instead it'll be down at the 28-yard line of Colby. A solid punt there for Trey Cox after his negative one. So the Eagles will take over deeper in their own territory. They'll say the 29. And we'll see how Colby responds after a solid drive on a short field. Their last time out, a 4-play, 37-yard touchdown drive. Motion man to the near side. Here's a snap and a handoff to Hagan Bowie, who's hit hard, but he gets about 2 or 3. And we'll see where they spot it. They say no gain, which it did not appear that way for me. It looked like he fell forward for a good yard or so past the point of contact. But instead it'll be no gain. Second down and 10 now. Motion man to the near side and Stapp. They pitch it to him, trying to get to the edge. And a great finishing block by Hagan Bowie. And Stapp is going to get across the 40 for a first down. Knocks over his own teammate on the sideline as he runs into Tyler Remmer. And on the play, they'll mark him right at the 40-yard line. So a gain of 11 and another first down. First and 10 from the 45, 54 to go here in the first half of play. Mason Wright motions to the right side, and they hand it off on the counter. And bringing it out to around the 44 is going to be Calvin Stapp again. So a gain of 4, and that puts Calvin Stapp up to 70 yards rushing in the first half. 8 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. And it's going to be second down and about 5.5. Running back on each hip of Myers here. Here's a snap and the handoff to Mason Wright off the right edge. Up across midfield, close to another first down. And this by far the best carry of the night for Mason Wright, as he'll pick up about 6.5. We'll call it 7. So another first down for Colby. And that'll bring us to 5 minutes to go. Again, the Eagles on top 12-7. 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions tonight. Myers in the gun once again. Option play to the near side. Late pitch to Stapp, and it's errant. And Stapp will run and get it on the sideline. And on the near sideline, Colby wants a late hit, but they will not get it. When it's all said and done, no gain. Well, actually, they'll move it back about a yard. So a loss of 1, credited to Calvin Stapp, who fell on the fumble there. And with 4:22 and counting now here in the second quarter, Colby faced with a 2nd and 11. So a snap and a handoff to Wright. He cuts it back, now makes a man miss. Solid gain, and a helmet comes off. We'll see who lost their cap. As a gain of 6 there for Mason Wright, as it was Devin Hill of Holcomb who lost their hat.
Go here, let's go here. Let's go, you need this. Let's go. First down, let's go.
6 yards on the carry there. 3rd down and 5. We'll see what Coach McKinney dials up here. Motion man is right to the near side. Dropping back, quick drop, and a throw to the near side is just over the head of the intended receiver right, who ran the wheel route down the near sideline, and that's going to force 4th down. So will Colby elect to try and pin Holcomb back deep, or will they go for it? We'll see what Coach McKinney decides as the play clock ticks down. There is no play clock visible from the field here, so the officials keeping track of that down on the grass, and we are just left guessing, and it looks like Colby will go for it. Myers out of the shotgun, trips to the near side. And timeout called late, as it looked like Colby might have just tried to get Holcomb to jump off sides there. They called their 2nd timeout of the half. And we'll see how Colby comes out set after this huddle. They might elect to just punt here. But if you use a timeout in that situation, typically that means you would want to go for it, because calling timeouts end up just inevitably punting would be a little bit of a rough strategy, but it can pay off in certain situations. When you have a solid punter like Zach Castiglione that you can rely on, though, you're really left with every option in the book. So Colby, plenty of choices here when they break the huddle here in just a moment. Again, 3:34 to go here, 2nd quarter. Colby on top 12-7 over the Holcomb Longhorns here in Holcomb. As we look across the state here for just a second, Scott City up 29-0 on Goodland after 1 quarter. And Hoisington leading Larned 12-0 in the 2nd. We'll get you more scores from around the state at halftime. But here it's 4th and 5 Colby from the Holcomb 45-yard line. Stat motions to the right side, and a high snap over the head of Myers, and he'll just fall on it back at the 39-yard line, or rather the 40 of Colby. So a very tough time for a huge loss of 15 yards. And Myers statistically will take a huge loss there, just falling on the high snap. And now Holcomb with a great chance here. Still a ton of time for them, with just 40 yards ahead of them. Hands out of the gun. Taps his foot, and there's a handoff and a whistle, and a flag comes flying. It's blown dead, so we'll back Holcomb up 5 yards here, likely, as somebody got a head start. And that's exactly what took place. 5 more penalty yards for Holcomb. So 3 penalties, 18 yards in total for the Longhorns here in the first half. Lights becoming more prevalent here tonight as we play into the Southwest Kansas Fall. Receiver splitting out to the near side for Holcomb is Levi Knoll. Devin Hill in motion from right to left across the formation. Snap to hands, and a handoff up the middle is to Drew Hill, bowling forward to about the 40-yard line, so it looks like he got all of that penalty yardage back.
Looks like about a 6-yard gain.
So they'll give him about 5.5, maybe 6. We'll go ahead and call it 5. So 2nd down and long here. Knoll and Devin Hill split out, and again Hill will motion to the far end. Hands will take the snap. He'll roll towards his left. Throws to the sideline. It's picked off. Ryan Myers picks it off down the far sideline, and he's finally dragged down around the 46-yard line. A huge play there as Colby Hands is picked off for the first time tonight by Ryan Myers. 2:30 to go and one timeout for Colby. They now have an opportunity here to try and go down and score before the end of the half. A huge play there momentum-wise. So Colby will start at their own 46 here coming off the turnover. We'll see if they try to take a shot here. Motion man is snapped to the near side. They pitch it out to him. They've had plenty of success on this play. He cuts it out across the 50 to about the 49-yard line of Holcomb. So a gain of about 5 yards there for Stapp. His 10th carry of the ball game. And we're now under 2:20 to go in the second quarter. It'll be second down and about 5. Myers crouches down, hands it off this time to the near side. Making a man miss his Stapp. He'll burrow his head down towards the 46-yard line. He's going to be about a half a yard short of the first down, I believe. So they'll say 4 on that one. And that'll bring up a crucial play here with a minute 35 and counting now here left in a half. A snap and a handoff this time to Bowie. He'll roll forward. He's got the first down. He'll get about a yard and a half. But a solid gain there when Colby needed it most. Give him about a yard, and it'll move the chains, or rather, not a generous spot here, as I thought he had it easily. And we'll stop and measure it here. And I'm typically not one to harp on officiating, but looks like about a full half a yard short of the spot that I had. This one dead in front of me, right around midfield. But after measurement, they're going to go ahead and say he's a few inches short. So go ahead and get your ruler out and call it 4 inches. Fourth down and less than I'm telling you, this is a matter of inches, ladies and gentlemen. With a minute 20 to go here in the half, Colby just with one timeout remaining. And we'll see how they line it up. Clock is now rolling with the whistle. Stapp motions out to the right side. Myers will pump fake and keep. He's got the near side. He gets out of bounds. And a great gain across the 40, inside it, down to about the 37-yard line of Holcomb. So a gain of 8 and a first down.
Keep it going, let's go. Push it in, let's go.
The first carry of yardage for Ryan Myers today. Snap and a handoff to Bowie. He gets to the outside. He's got some room. Runs over him, man. He's going to be close to a first down for the Eagles here. We'll see where they spot it. The whistles will blow. That will signal a stop of the clock and a first down. So they'll call it 1st and 10 for Colby. Around the 26-yard line. It'll be about a gain of 11 for Bowie. And a blown play here, but Stapp makes a man miss. He's going to still lose a couple of yards, but not near as bad as it could have been. And Colby will call their final timeout of the half with 45.2 on the clock. So their final timeout here, not a ton of time, but with an offense as dangerous as this, can never fret for Colby. So as I look through everything here, it'll be second down and about 10 and a half 45.2 seconds to go. Colby again on top, 12-7 over Holcomb here. Calvin Stapp so far is the statistical leader in just about every category for Colby. 12 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns here in the first half. He's also got 2 receptions for 42 yards in total. So we are just about ready to get back to action here again. Colby at the 27-yard line of Holcomb working in with 45.2 on the clock. Myers motions right to the right side. He bootlegs back to his left and throws it high, but it's caught. And bowling down the sideline, finally being shoved out of bounds is who else but Calvin Stapp. A solid gain there once again as the pass completed for a gain of about 9. So very solid play there. So third down and about 2.5, maybe 3 yards with 38.4 on the clock here. Snap as Myers rolls to his right. He's pressured, throws it high, and it's going to be caught by Wallmeyer. Breaks the tackle on the outside to the 10, to the 5, dives to the pylon. Is he in? Out of bounds at the 1-yard line, a 17-yard pickup. A solid play there. And it'll be first and goal. They'll say right at the 1-yard line. Great play there. Wallmeyer's first catch is a big one. 30 seconds to go in the half here. Colby trying to capitalize on the short field. The snap and the handoff is to Bowie. Breaks one tackle, pulls it across. Touchdown, Eagles. Bowie with a 1-yard touchdown run. So, with 27.1 seconds left on the clock, Colby will now go for 2. So the lineup, 2 receivers to either side. Bowie on the left hip of Myers. Snap, and they hand it off right back to Hagen Bowie. Shooting forward, they'll push him, but he's not going to get there. 0 for 3 are the Eagles on 2-point conversion tries. But they lead it now 18-7 over Holcomb with, again, 27.1 on the clock here before halftime. So a huge play there, momentum-wise, as Colby went down and drove down on their first drive of the game for a touchdown after 12 plays and 64 yards. This time, they go 54 yards on 9 plays and punch it in for the 3rd time today. Their second longest drive, both in terms of plays and yardage, as the other touchdown by Calvin Stapp in the ballgame, the 24-yarder, or rather 26-yarder, excuse me, was just on the 4th play of the drive. So now the Eagles have been able to grab control of this one, a 2-possession lead. And Mason Wright will tee it up and try to pin Holcomb back deep with not a lot of time here on the clock. This one, a high bouncer. It takes a good bounce, but diving in, grabbing it just across the 30 is the up back for Holcomb on that one. And the second level of returners, again, I'm unable to see that number, is out on the far end and then falling into a massive humanity. And Holcomb will start at their own 33 this time. And again, coming up after the conclusion of this quarter, we'll have the Cornerstone Ag halftime show. We'll review first half highlights, go over some statistics, as well as take a look at some scores around the league. As Kobe hands out of the shotgun, takes a snap and hands it off to Drew Hill. And he's going to be hit and dropped after a gain of maybe 1. And that might just take us to the end of the first half. Aiden Basco will be credited with the half, or with the tackle, and Holcomb will head into half. So a very conservative call there to end the half there for the Longhorns as both teams head towards the far end zone, towards the locker room. And that will take us to break. 15 minutes on the clock. We'll go ahead and send it to another timeout. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Yep.
And now for your halftime entertainment.
That's fine. No worries. So just remind me which ones you have again. Which ones you have again? Sorry. What plays do you have again? Say it one more time. Sorry.
She was at the field.
Okay. Okay, we'll play all of those then. That should be about perfect. Awesome, thank you.
Make them boys go crazy. They always claim they know me, coming to me, call Stacy. I'm the S to the E, R, G, the I, the E, and can no other lady put it down like me.
Thank you. Welcome back into the Cornerstone Ag halftime show. Colby on top of Holcomb on the road here by a score of 18-7. The Eagles took the ball first and drove down a 12-play, 64-yard touchdown drive capped off by Calvin Stapp and a 7-yard touchdown run off the left side. And after that, Holcomb would take the kickoff all the way to the Eagles' 34-yard line. An absolutely outstanding return that was initially fumbled, and that scramble for the ball kind of opened up the field and allowed that great return. And from there, Drew Hill with a 10-yard run for the first down of the ball game for Holcomb. And then the next play, Colby Johnson goes 24 yards to the house, and Holcomb would then take a 7-6 lead. From there, the Eagles and the Longhorns would kind of trade blows. Nobody could really get comfortable. That was the score at the end of one, was 7-6. But from there, the Colby Eagles were able to get back in the end zone. A 4-play, 37-yard touchdown drive set up by a just absolutely atrocious punt of -2 yards by Trey Cox. Really set up Colby in a golden opportunity, and from there they would make him pay. A 26-yard touchdown run from Calvin Stapp, heard here. And Mason Wright really did seal that edge. As it started out as a counter handoff from the right side, working towards the left, and it's a play we've seen so far through the first 3 weeks of the year. That's worked pretty well, but that edge block, trying to grab the defenders and pick through it for Colby to create more space on that outer edge for Calvin Stapp, as he is so quick once he does get to that outside edge. And Mason Wright did a great job of sealing that block and helping Calvin Stapp get to the outside and into the end zone to help Colby take the 12-7 lead, as they again failed the 2-point conversion. And they've been on top ever since. After that, Holcomb would have a great opportunity close to the end of the half with about 45 seconds left when the first turnover for Holcomb took place, as the interception from Kobe Hands. Very fitting there, as one quarterback picks off the other. Ryan Myers, so far tonight, has fumbled the football on a bad snap. He is the one that's going to get that one statistically, but it really wasn't his fault. But that was really the only mistake by the Eagles in the first half, was that fumble that set up a pretty short field that Colby actually forced a 3-and-out on, or rather a 4-and-out, as Holcomb didn't get a first down when they went for it on 4th down and short. So Colby was not harmed from the fumble there, but when Ryan Myers equalized it with the turnover he created with that interception, Colby actually made Holcomb pay with a 1-yard touchdown run after a great drive from the Eagles here, as Hagan Bowie punched it in. And that capped off, again, a 9-play, 54-yard touchdown drive after the Ryan Myers interception, as Colby, again, has an 18-7 lead here at the break. We're about midway through the half here on the Cornerstone Ag halftime show, but we'll go ahead and take a short break and be back in a minute. We'll have the first half stats for you, as well as some score updates from around the state. You're listening to the Cornerstone Ag halftime show and the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Yep. Oh, no worries. Okay, I can redial you here in the next break before we come back for the second half. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Welcome back to the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show. I'm Jackson Schneider. Eagles on top of Holcomb by a score of 18-7. We'll go ahead and get into our first half stats. First for the Holcomb Longhorns. Holcomb so far in the game just 9 carries, three players combined for 9 carries outside of Drew Hill. Drew Hill with 15 yards rushing, by far the most consistent rusher, but Colby Johnson with 1 rush and 24 yards in that touchdown. The lone score of the game for Holcomb, as Colby has really shut them down offensively throughout the first half of action. Kobe Hands passing the football, just 2 of 6 for 14 yards and an interception in the first half. His receivers were Drew Hill for 2 yards and Devin Hill for 12. So not a lot going offensively for Holcomb outside of that first half. Their first drive set up by the great field position. Again, that was a 2-play, 34-yard touchdown drive. And since then, they have not tallied a first down. They're 0 for 3 on third downs and 0 for 2 on fourth down attempts as well. So really struggling offensively is Holcomb. While as we flip this scorebook, Colby is cooking as of late. The Eagles so far have 2 great rushers, 10 rushes, 37 yards and a score for Hagan Bowie, 12 rushes, 78 yards and 2 scores for Calvin Stapp, as Mason Wright has 5 rushes for 6 yards and Ryan Myers 3 rushes for -6, totaling 114 rushing yards on the day for Colby. Ryan Myers 6 of 7 for 69 yards throwing, as he's got 3 different receivers. Calvin Stapp with 3 receptions, 51 yards. Hagan Bowie a 1-yard reception, as well as Peyton Wallmeyer 1 reception for 17 yards in the game. Colby with a good chunk of first downs, considerably more than just the one of Holcomb, as the Eagles have 10 first half first downs. And weren't great on third down, just 1 of 4, but were 1 of 1 on going for it on fourth downs, or 1 of 2 rather, on fourth downs. So they've been very consistent on those fourth down plays throughout the season. But that'll do it for our first half stats recap. We'll go ahead and take our final break of the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show and be back with the second half of action here when we return. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. All right, Clayton, I'm going to hang up and redial real quick. Hey Clayton, it's me. I just tried to redial, clean it up a bit. Does this sound any better? Okay, here, okay. Can you hear me currently? I don't either. Okay. Hopefully yeah, I hope so. All right, thank you.
Oh, I would have been fine. Sorry.
Now we got a machine that we're doing myself. Go wide, let's go here! That's, I know, that's funny.
That's Boy Scout level.
Yeah, that's right. That's not in my line or my bag.
Thank you. Welcome back to Longhorn Stadium in Holcomb, Kansas. I'm Jackson Schneider. As we have just a moment or so before we get back to the action here, Eagles on top 18-7 after the first half. We'll go ahead and get you some scores from around the state. First, in our other GWAC games at the half, Ulysses up 15-6 on Hugoton, while Scott City whooping up on Goodland. It's 43-0 at the break. Other scores around the area, Hoisington up 18-13 at the half over Larned. As we have some other scores in the area, as it is presented by Scores in Kansas, as they tweet out plenty of scores, keeping us updated all across the state. Ellis up 30-0 on Ellenwood at halftime, as well as plenty of other games relevant to us. 14-0 Beloit up on Minneapolis, as we'll see Beloit next week in the first game of district play. So lots going on. Russell also down 30-3 at the half to southeast of Saline, as we are ready for half number 2. Colby will kick off from left to right as you view it. And here is the kick, and it is a dribbler. It'll be scooped up, or rather fumbled with, around the 25, sent to the far end, breaking one tackle out across the 30 maybe. Right around that 30 is where they'll probably mark it there from my eyes here. But another good coverage play after that first bust from the Colby kickoff team, and that is where Holcomb will start, right around the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 29. So not a friendly spot for the home team here, as Holcomb, trailing by 2 possessions, will look to cut into this Colby lead with their first possession of the half. So, hands out of the gun. He'll take the snap and he'll hand it off to Drew Hill up the middle, and he's got plenty of room. Finally brought down after a solid carry, a gain of about 8 on the play. The scoreboard reads a gain of 5, but it's closer to 6 on the play. I thought it was I'm telling you, these spots have been very deceiving for what my eyes have seen. So they'll call it the 36. So we'll call it 7. Second down from the 36-yard line here. And errant snap off the hands of Colby Hands. He scoops it up, chucks it downfield, and that's going to be intentional grounding. It just about has to be, and it is. Here comes the late flag as Colby Hands had nowhere to go. He got back on top of the ball after it squirted out of his hands, and just about every every Colby Eagle on the defense was bearing down on him, so he chucked it 30 yards downfield and out of bounds, and now lose it down and back it up off of the penalty. So the intentional grounding will back it up considerably here to around the 21-yard line. A 15-yard penalty, as well as the loss of down. So it's now third down. And so Holcomb will split out 4 receivers, 2 to either side, and now a motion man in Knoll out to the right side for trips. Now back to the near side, back to Twins. A lot of motion. Hands will motion to the left side. Throw, and that one is up for grabs, and it's knocked away. A great defensive play there by Ryan Myers, who was eyeing his second pick of the game. And so now Holcomb will be forced to punt. Failed third down try there will bring out the punter in Trey Cox, who's had a up and down day to say the least. A very bad punt on his first one, but he made up for it with a very solid one his second time. Colby has blocked a punt so far this season. This one, no pressure, and again a good punt from Cox. This one will take a bounce and go out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it on the far sideline. But Colby forces a 3 and out on the opening drive of the half. So 3 plays, 7 yards, and a punt. And a costly 15-yard penalty there for Holcomb. And now Colby will start at their own 40. So solid field position here for the Eagles. Two running backs for Colby here as Myers takes the snap, hands it off, and being brought down in the backfield is Mason Wright. Oz Perez causing havoc in the backfield there, a loss of about 5. They'll call it 4. And statistically, Mason Wright will take that one. He had a rough half yards per carry wise, but it really wasn't his fault, as he's never really been gifted with great running lanes. As now Colby faced with a 2nd and 14. Myers takes the snap, hands it off to Bowie. He cuts it out, or rather, I believe that one was, yes, it was Hagen Bowie. I don't know why I saw that wrong. But he busts forward for a solid gain, gets the lost yardage back, and then some. He'll pick up about 7.
You do this, guys. Let's go. All offense.
So he picks up right where he left off after half number 1. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 43-yard line. Stop in motion. They counter it to Wright. This time he cuts it up, and he's got a lot of room. And there you go, his first solid rush of the game. Out across the 50. That'll move the chains. They'll call that a gain of about 9 for Mason Wright. So Colby with a first down. And now back into Holcomb territory. A chance to try and really stretch this lead out. High snap. And a read option as Myers keeps it on the near sideline to the 40, to the 35, and shoved out of bounds around the 30. We'll see where they mark it here. Down on that sideline. They might give him right at that 30-yard line, so an 18-yard run from Ryan Myers, and another first down. So the second first down of the drive here for Colby, as Holcomb with their backs against the walls here. First down and 10 from that 30-yard line. Motion man is right. They hand it off back to Bowie. He gets to the 30, but stood up right there. No gain on the play. Maybe a half of yard, if that. Not a lot going for him that time. So it'll be second down and 10 here from just a hair inside that 30-yard line. 8:50 to go. Colby on top, 18-7 here on the road at Holcomb. Eagles eyeing their second straight win against the Longhorns, and that would be the first time in history that has ever happened. Handoff here on a counter as Bowie makes a man miss, shifts up to about the 26, near the 25-yard line. Decent run there, but that'll bring up third down. They'll give him 5. And that'll bring up a third down here for Colby. And now this time a quarterback draw. Myers breaks into the secondary and finally tripped up around the 6-yard line as an ankle tackle saves 6. A gain of about 19 yards there for Ryan Myers, and he is gashing Holcomb in this second half. And Colby is 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive alone. And that'll bring up first and goal. And they'll say after he was hit around the 10-yard line and he rolled, so they'll say it was at the 10-yard line. First and goal here for the Eagles. Hand off to Stapp. Cuts up the middle, makes one man miss and bursts into the end zone. Or they'll mark him down just short. I really thought he got in there. So a solid gain there from Calvin Stapp. Second down and goal from what they'll call the 3-yard line, which I thought he had plenty of room in front of him, but the massive humanity that he ran through really impeded my vision there. Myers out of the gun again, hands it off to Stapp again. Same play, this time he cuts it up and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Colby. A 3-yard touchdown run for Calvin Stapp. And Colby has opened this one up big time. That makes the score 24-7. And now Colby will line up for the 2-point conversion. That is Calvin Stapp's third touchdown run of the game. Lengths of 7:26 and now 3 as this one Myers will keep and he'll charge it in for 2. That makes it 26-7 Colby with 6:30 to play here in the third quarter. So the Eagles have taken control here, again leading 26-7. That'll take us to a break. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride.
Hey, how was
You listen to us winning at halftime. I'll check the score like by a touchdown, not by a lot. It was like 15-7.
I can't believe it.
Love offense.
Larry,
Keep it up. Let's go. Get that ball. Let's go.
Larry, who are they?
You could do it. I figured it. Get the kill.
Yeah.
Go get the ball. Let's go. Let's go.
Get your dance set.
Hey, defense, let's go!
Welcome back to Holcomb. I'm Jackson Schneider. And the Eagles squibbed it to about the 47-yard line of Holcomb, who just falls on it. They'll get great field position here to start this next drive, but prevents any long return. So that is where the Longhorns will start. And a new quarterback in a bad snap, and this one is going to be fallen on, as Caden Johnson is now in at quarterback. And so a big loss there after the snap just squirts out of the hands of Caden Johnson just into the ball game, back to the 39-yard line. A loss of 9. So a huge play there, momentum-wise. And now Johnson again has trouble with the snap, but delivers a quick out to Levi Knoll, who sheds one man and another, and he's going to be close to the original sticks, out near the 48-49-yard line. Stretches it out near midfield. So a solid pickup to get that back and then some. So they'll pick up about 11 on that one. And that'll bring up third down and long. A snap and another quick out throw. This one's going to be caught by Knoll again, but a gain of just 5. And that's going to force a fourth down. So 2 quick outs and easy throws to Levi Knoll from Caden Johnson just into the game. And you'll see that typically when you try and get a new quarterback rolling, just some easy throws to develop their confidence. But now a big fourth down coming here, and Holcomb's going to go for it. Fourth down and about 4 or 5. Out of the shotgun, Johnson play action fakes, he's rushed, and now he's batted away and nearly picked off. As Thane Wilderman got a hand on it, and Calvin Stapp nearly came in and picked it off, but that one is incomplete. And it'll force a turnover on down. So Colby stands tall. So 4 plays and 6 yards in total. And another turnover for Holcomb on downs, as now Colby with a chance to make this one get a little bit ugly. Up 26-7 with 4:40 to go in the third quarter. And now with the ball in great field position at their own 46-yard line. High snap and a handoff to Bowie. This one looks broken, but Bowie takes advantage of the stall in action and picks up about 2 yards. It seemed like everybody stopped here and the play was blown dead, but instead it'll be a gain of about 2 for Bowie. So a little bit over 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter, as Colby nearing midfield here. It'll be second down and 8. Motion man to the near side is right. Handoff to Bowie once again across the 50 to the 45 to the 44-yard line. And that's going to be close to a first down. A gain of about 8. And 8 was what he needed. And there is a Longhorn down on the field. So we'll have a timeout for an injured player. As Bowie did get 8 yards on the carry. And they will say it is a first down. Gage Salazar is the injured Holcomb Longhorn. The running back and middle linebacker stands at 5'11", 175 pounds in his senior year.
I don't think I could ever do it.
As he is being tended to on the field. Colby Eagles all taking a knee here, as well as the Longhorns on the far end. And I won't speculate. I never want to speculate injuries, but he's currently being stretched out. So anytime that's the case, it leads you to believe cramps, as he's now helped up here, and he'll walk off under his own power with a slight limp. So again, 4 minutes to go here. Colby up 26-7, and they'll have a first down and 10 at the 45-yard line at the 43-yard line of Holcomb now. And we can get back to action here. First and 10. Mason Wright split out to the far end as Peyton Wallmeyer to the near side here. And a snap and a handoff to Bowie up the middle. And he continues to get fed. He'll get about a yard or two on that one. We wait the official spot. I'm going to go ahead and call it a visual 2 yards. That's the 6th carry for 24 yards in the half for Hagen Drury. You can add that to a solid total of 37 yards in the first half. So over 60 yards rushing now. Second down and 8. Here's the snap, and Myers gives to Calvin Stapp. Makes one man miss, lunges out towards the 35-yard line. And that'll be a pickup of 6 there for Calvin.
Keep it rolling!
That'll bring up a third down and about 2 yards to go. On the first drive of the half for Colby, they were 2 of 2 on third downs. This is their first one of this drive. Motion man is Stapp. Counter handoff to Mason Wright. He busts one. That's a first down. An ankle tackle there by number 23 of Sebastian Munoz of the Longhorns. Saves what looked like it could have been a touchdown. And that one brings the ball to about the 27-yard line. We'll call it a run of 8 for Mason Wright. Thane Wilderman split to the near end this time. Stapp is the slot on the right side. Motion man and a stutter step and a false start there. I believe it will be on Colby here as it was blown dead. So back them up 5 yards. Their first penalty of the second half. And that'll put them back to the 32-yard line. Holcomb with about 2:12 to go here in the third quarter. Colby up 26-7 on the road here at Holcomb.
Come on, guys! Grab the ball, let's go!
Wallmeyer split out 2 receivers to the far end as well. Motion man is Bowie across the front. High snap, handoff, and a give to Calvin Stapp, and he'll bowl ahead for a couple there. Near the original line of downs, so we'll see. Give him about 6, maybe 7 there, so a solid run gets the yardage back and then some. We'll go ahead and give him 7 there and call it second down and 8. A little heavier look here on the set. Hand off to the right side. This will go to Mason Wright, and he will get maybe a yard. Sebastian Munez in on the tackle. Mason Wright with 14 yards on 4 carries here in the half. His rushing total to 20 yards on the game now, as Colby will face yet another third down here. This one a little bit longer, about 7 yards from the 24-yard line of Holcomb. As a slight breeze picks up at the backs of the Eagles. And a bull rush here and a handoff to the left side as Calvin Stapp gets out of one, reverses his field, now cuts it up, and he's going to be close to a first down. And it looks like he might have it. The second effort there to reverse it back past the line of defense, break one tackle, and push it forward. And it will move the chains. Calvin Stapp with a huge run there. About 20 seconds left with the clock rolling now. As it'll be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, a gain of about 10 on the play from Calvin. But Colby will hold off and take this one to the quarter. A solid effort of offense for Colby in this third quarter. 2 long drives, and they are knocking on the doorstep yet again, trying to put this one on the shelf as we head to the fourth quarter. 26-7. The Eagles lead it with 12 minutes to go. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Welcome back to Holcomb. I'm Jackson Schneider. 12 minutes to go here. Colby in control up 26-7 on the road at Holcomb. And driving. They're at the Longhorns' 14-yard line, working now from right to left and inward towards that end zone. It's 1st and 10. As a motion to the left side and a delayed handoff to Mason Wright. He makes one man miss and gets spun down, but he loses the football. And there's a scrum at about the 3-yard line, but it looks like the Eagles get it. Thane Wilderman, Johnny on the spot there. Thane Wilderman saves that one as Mason Wright with a solid run, but he hops on it, so we'll see where they mark it. At about the 3-yard line, I believe, so it'll be a gain of 11.
It's your alma mater.
So, Thane Wilderman will get the first down there. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 3. So, 2 hands on the ball in this situation as Colby looks to put it on ice early in the fourth quarter. And I bet I know who gets this one. Here's the snap and a motion handoff now to Hagan Bowie. He bowls ahead and across the plane into the end zone. Touchdown Eagles. Hagan Bowie 3 more yards and a score. His second touchdown of the evening. And Colby has taken complete control here. They'll line up for 2. And Colby just 1 for 4 so far in this ballgame on 2-point conversion tries. Motion into the right side is Myers. Here's the snap and a quarterback draw, and it doesn't look like Ryan Myers has enough, so they'll be 1 for 5 on 2-point conversion tries. Or, excuse me, 1 for 5. It's just horrible at math sometimes. But that makes the score 32-7, and we'll go ahead and take another break and be back in a moment. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride.
I asked her.
Get that ball! Let's go! Hey, Eagles!
Welcome back to Holcomb. I'm Jackson Schneider. Eagles on top of the Longhorns 32-7 as another squib kick is fielded right around the 40-yard line, and that is where Holcomb will start their next drive. Holcomb so far in the second half, 7 plays, 13 total yards, 1 punt, and 1 failed fourth down try as they now find themselves down 25 points on their home field to a team that they typically have defeated. Holcomb led the series 8-3 heading into tonight, but the Colby Eagles are well on their way to their second consecutive win in this series. And another bad snap, this one through the wickets, and sliding back on it is Colby Hands back in at quarterback, but that one right through the 5-hole, and that'll be a loss of about 15 yards on the play. So a loss of 15 on the play thanks to the errant snap. And it'll be second down and 25. So second and 25 from the 25 here. As Holcomb in a huge hole here. Receiver split out to the near side, down tight end as well. Another low snap. This one scooped up by Hands. He chucks it over the middle, and it's going to be caught by Levi Noel, who breaks the tackle, bursts into the secondary to the 40, to the 50, 45, down the sideline to the 40, and finally brought down inside the 40-yard line. So the broken play leads to a huge gain for Holcomb. We'll see where they spot it. I believe they'll mark him at the 37-yard line. So a gain of 52 yards. Excuse me, 42 yards.
Oh, defense, let's get tough. Let's go. Go defense.
So first and 10 here. And this one, a run up the middle, goes for nothing. As Levi Noel has now totaled 55 yards receiving in this one. As that run up the middle for about a yard there. Colby in complete control here, but Holcomb trying to fight back. 10-10 to go here in the ball game as the clock continues to tick down. Another throw deep towards the end zone. He's got a man, and this is going to be caught, but down to the 1-yard line. So Ramirez with the grab, and a solid one. And that is a gain of about 34 yards. So Holcomb has taken to the skies here as of late. The last couple of plays. And it'll be first and goal from just inside the 2-yard line, so probably some big boy football time here. And a handoff up the middle and into the end zone. So Holcomb gets a 2-yard touchdown run from Colby Hands, who keeps it. And Holcomb now down 32-13 as they line it up. I believe they'll kick the extra point here as Ramirez comes back in. 1 for 1 on extra points here tonight are the Longhorns. As some final stragglers on the extra point team for Holcomb run on. And the kick is low. And no good, as it was wide to the left as well. So that makes it 32-13. Colby is on top. So 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the ball game. Holcomb showing some fight there with a late touchdown. But Colby is well in control here, up 19 points, and they'll get the ball back now. But a 5-play touchdown drive for the Longhorns. They total 60 yards and get into the end zone. So while we await the team's return to the field here, we can go ahead and take a look around the state once more. Scores in Kansas brings you scores from all around the state. Smith Center taking Phillipsburg to the woodshed, 27-0 in the fourth quarter. As we work around, Wichita Northwest up 24-0 on Great Bend late in the third quarter. As we are now ready for the kickoff here, Ramirez will line up, and he might just try an onside here. As this one, booted deep, and a good kick taken around the 10-yard line. Angled up to the middle, now to the near side. This is Calvin Stapp, makes one man miss, lunges forward, and he'll get around to the 33-yard line, and that's where Colby will start their next drive.
Let's go! All the way down!
So 1st and 10 from the Colby 33, 9:25 to play in the ball game. The Eagles have gone on 2 very long touchdown drives here in the second half. Just 2 possessions, but a 9-play 60-yard touchdown drive and a 10-play 54-yard touchdown drive. And if they can keep up that ball control, we may be out of here in a hurry. Motion man is right to the right side. High snap and a handoff to the near side. It's Stapp. He breaks one tackle, stiff arms the man, and he's going to be fine for the ankle tackle out across the 40 to the 42. He'll get about 9 or 10 on that one. Nearly broke that one off for much, much more. But we'll go ahead and say 9 yards, as he's just short of a first down, is Calvin Stapp. And it'll be 2nd down and a yard here at the 42-yard line of Colby. Motion man again is right. This time they pitch it to him on that far end. Tries to set the edge. He's got some head of steam out near to the 50. And the beanbag is out. He lost the football. He lost the football yet again, but Colby will jump back on top of it to the 49. That's good for a first down. A 9-yard gain there for Wright. But he nearly coughed it up. And that would have been a very interesting turn of events, as Colby is again in control at 19 points here. But a turnover in great field position for Holcomb would give them a whole ton of momentum and belief here. As now 1st and 10 from the Holcomb 49 is a handoff to Hagan Bowie. Stutter steps, now pushes forward, and the pile will bring him down. And they'll give him the 46-yard line, so a gain of 3 for Bowie. And he's got 30 yards now on 8 carries here in the second half alone. 67 rushing yards on the night total, 2 touchdowns as well, so solid night on the ground for the Eagles. And it'll be 2nd down and what they'll say is a short 8 yards. Long 7, if you will. Here's a snap and a handoff to the left side again. Bouncing it to the outside and being dragged by his jersey is Stapp, but he fights forward for another first down and a gain of about 10 yards. So Calvin Stapp once again is just taking Holcomb to the woodshed on the ground. So that moves the chains.
Keep it moving, boys! Let's go!
To the 36-yard line of the Longhorns. 7:15 and counting to go here in the ball game. Eagles lead by 19, looking to make it more. Motion man is Stapp. They pitch fake, and now Myers will keep it. He bursts to the outside, spins around, and will be dragged down on the play after a gain of about 5 yards. So 5 more yards for Ryan Myers. He's now got 38 yards in the half. Six and a half now to go in the ball game. Eagles slowing the tempo down a bit, but moving the ball at will. Here's the snap and a handoff again. Stapp cuts it up, drags another man, and finally backpedals down while he's dragged. A gain of about 7, maybe 8 yards there to about the, we'll see where they mark it, but around the 25-yard line, maybe a little bit past it. They'll mark it the 24. So a gain of 7 more.
Keep them moving, boys. Let's go.
So 1st and 10 from that 24-yard line, and so we are now under 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Snapping a handoff to Hagen Bowie, who lowers his head and pushes forward for a yard or two. Colby is insisting upon running the ball, and why not when you're doing it as well as they have. Bowie will get 3 to his credit after that one, and that should just show you how difficult he is to bring down, as he ran straight in to a pile of humans and came out with 3 yards on the play. Eagles will line it up here. Stapp on the right hip of Myers. Bowie slot right as well. Handoff straight ahead for Stapp this time. And he will move forward for a couple. And we'll say he got about 4 on the play there, so it should be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go.
3rd down and 3 for the Eagles.
And ladies and gentlemen, I really look forward to totaling up these stats, as I've got stat sheets for the 1st and 2nd half. But once I total them up in the Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show, I'm sure of it that Calvin Stapp and Hagen Bowie have combined for over 200 rushing yards tonight, as well as their 5 total touchdowns between them. Handoff this time to Hagen Bowie. He lays a man and lunges forward for a couple more, and another 1st down. And a couple of extracurriculars on the near side, as Justin Ortega of Holcomb, some late shoves on the outside edge. So a solid gain to about the 12-yard line. Another 1st down for Hagen Bowie. Motion man is Mason Wright. This time they give it back to Stapp. He loses the football, but a heads-up play by Ryan Myers. He hops on it as that one was poked out in the backfield by a couple of different Longhorns in the neighborhood, but Randy Sharp got in there, ton of pressure, and so Colby will back it up. Big loss on the play that time. A loss of about 9 back to the 22-yard line. So 2nd down and 19. Here's the snap. Myers pump fakes one, now runs up the middle, and that counter play, as they draw attention on the flare to the left side, he has taken advantage of that multiple times this season, and he picks up a solid gain there. Gets most of that lost yardage back, and he'll get 11 on the play. So 11 more for Myers. 5 carries, 40 yards in the half for the junior quarterback here, as we're down under 2:45 to go in the ballgame. The Eagles just bleeding this clock out. If you remember, they took over with the ball around 9 minutes to go in the ballgame, so they've effectively killed nearly 7 minutes of game time here just by keeping the ball on the ground. This time a pitch to the near side. Near the sideline is Stapp. He stays in bounds, aways the man, and lunges into the end zone. What a move there by the Matador. Watches a Longhorn fly past and steps into the end zone, an 11-yard touchdown run from Calvin Stapp. Yet another one. What a day for Calvin Stapp. And it looks like we might kick the try the extra point here with a healthy lead. This is the first extra point try of the season for Colby. And it will be number 23, Carson Van Eaton. High snap, good hold. The kick is up. It is good. So Colby takes a 39-13 lead as Van Eaton will cap off the big long drive there, and I do mean big and long. A 12-play, 67-yard touchdown drive. And the Eagles are 3 for 3 on the half for drives and touchdowns. Drives of 9 plays 60 yards, 10 plays 54 yards, and 12 plays 67 yards, all for touchdowns here in the second half to grab complete control. They are tripling this Holcomb offensive total here, 39-13, with now 2:21 to play in the ball game. Scott City has defeated Goodland. That one is final. It was 55-0. The Beavers taking the Cowboys and just kind of giving them the business tonight. Ulysses leads Hugoton at the start of the fourth quarter, 22-14 in that one. So the Ulysses Tigers with a bit of a surprise here. Is this one a high and deep kick near the sideline, but it will roll out of bounds inside the 10. So another penalty for the Longhorns, the second of that variety, on the free kick out of bounds in the ball game. But if the ball went out of bounds, we'll see. I believe that's what it is, but we still await the official signal. And so we may re-kick it once again, as that was the ruling. We can't hear the official. He is a microphone, but one that we cannot hear. He's still signaling to the far end, but I can't see him. I'm having a tough time deciphering the backward signals from the official here. But again, the options for Holcomb were to re-kick or to take the ball at the 35. And I believe we will have they started at the 35 as if they were going to take it from there, and then they marched it up to midfield at the 50. So that, not sure how or what took place there, but Holcomb will get the ball at the 50-yard line for this next drive. 2:21 to go. Snap and a handoff to the left side. This is Levi Knoll, and he has a decent carry there to about the 45-yard line, a pickup of 5 yards. And the clock will continue to roll here. Under 2 minutes to play in the ball game. It'll be second down and 5 from the 45 of Colby now. Hands in the pistol set, motion man across. They fake the give to him, now run it up the middle, and plenty of room there for the ball carrier out across the 40 to around the 35. Inside the 35, they will mark him at the 32, and that is Colby Johnson with another solid run for him. He'll pick up 13 yards and a first down. Colby Johnson, if you remember back in the beginning of this ball game, the 24-yard touchdown run, but he hasn't carried it since. Up until that play right there, it's now 1st and 10 from the 32, 1:10 to go in the ball game. Colby in complete control. Hands is going to chuck one deep towards the end zone, and that's going to be caught for a touchdown. As a great adjustment there by the receiver there, Edgar Ramirez with yet another one. That's 32 yards. He had to come back for that one. A 32-yard touchdown pass from Hands to Ramirez. And that makes it 39-19 with just under a minute to go here. A solid throw there from Colby Hands. So Hands is now thrown for over 100 yards today. Most of that coming in the last two drives. And now Holcomb will go for two here. Play action look, throw on the out route. Pass complete, lunge forward into the end zone is good for 2 points. So that makes it 39-21. So 39-21 our score. Colby's still on top with now 59.4 seconds to play in the ball game. But got to credit Holcomb here for not quitting. This one got out of hand in a hurry, but they have responded with 2 drives for scores on their last couple. And that one was a pretty quick drive. Took a shot to the end zone and a 32-yard touchdown throw from Hands to Ramirez might just cap off the scoring in this ball game. And now, while we have a brief pause, Hoisington up 34-19 on Larned with 7:26 to go in the ball game. As the Hoisington football team is one of the favorites in 2A this season. They're a very solid squad. And again, the Eagles lead at 39-21 with 59 seconds left in the ball game. And a short kick onside attempt will be recovered by the Eagles. And a late flag as Connor Griffin scooped it up and tried to run it forward for a couple yards, and it looked like he got scraped by the face mask. So they should march this one forward even more so. And it looks like the Eagles will line up in the best formation in football, the victory formation.
They all think that they all thought that it went off and was put into the air.
We have a deliberation here from the officials. And I'm not sure what we're looking at here as Colby recovered the ball and kept it. And then the penalty flag came in. And with 58 seconds left in the ball game, we are still deciphering here. They'll keep the ball at the 47-yard line. So the Eagles will get the ball right there at the 47, and they'll line up in the victory. So 2 snaps of this one, and it's all over. Ryan Myers takes the snap and will kneel it down. And that will all but secure victory here as one more snap will end it. The Eagles will just wait for it to tick down below 40 seconds as it has now. And this should end it right here. 25 on the clock. Everybody's set. Here's the snap for the Eagles. Myers handles it carefully, takes a knee, and there is your ball game. And a loud cheer from the faithful that made the 2-hour journey south to Holcomb tonight make themselves known as the Colby Eagles come down to Holcomb and smack around the Longhorns 39-21. And this one was close in the beginning. Colby struck first, 6-0, but Holcomb answered right back 7-6 after one. But from there, it was all Colby. 18-7 at halftime, 26-7 after three, and again a final score of 39-21. But the ball game may be over, but we are far from done here from Holcomb, Kansas. The Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show to take place here shortly. We'll go ahead and take our first break and be back with a game recap and some highlights when we return. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Ulysses is still ahead. Last I heard, it's 22-14 as they started the fourth quarter about 10 minutes ago. You're good. You can just hang out for a little bit if you want. I'll start back. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. No, yeah, we'll just play our touchdowns and the interception if that's okay. We'll go through all the scores and the interception, and then you don't have to. Yeah, well, you can, but here, I'll talk to you more about that on Monday. We can figure that out a little bit better. All right, thank you. Ah, man. What were you saying there? I'm sorry.
Calvin have 100?
I'll total that up here in just a second.
I think you probably did. I don't know. That's something.
151 and 151 and 4 touchdowns and 50 yards receiving, 200 total yards.
He's a grandson.
He's a stud.
Yes, he is. He's a shifty little bit. You think he's down? No, there he goes.
Thank you. Welcome back to Holcomb, Kansas, where tonight the Colby Eagles are victorious in a no-doubter after the first quarter. It was 7-6 Holcomb after one, but from there, the Colby Eagles went on a 33-14 scoring run over the rest of the ball game and took this one 39-21, thanks in part to a hefty ground attack led by Calvin Stapp and Hagen Bowie. But we'll go ahead and go through the scoring summary of the night. It was the Eagles who again struck first after a 12-play, 64-yard touchdown drive capped off by Calvin Stapp from 7 yards out. So Colby again struck first on that one and was quickly answered, and I do mean quickly, by Holcomb. They got a great kickoff return, brought them back to the 34-yard line of Colby, and scored in 2 plays to make it 7-6. But from there, that's where things kind of turned on a dime. Calvin Stapp helped cap off another solid touchdown drive with this 26-yarder right here. And again, that great block from Mason Wright helped seal up that lane to the end zone. And so often those blocks go unnoticed, especially by the stat sheet, but don't want to let that one slip past you, as he really opened up that one for Calvin Stapp's second touchdown of the ball game. A little bit later in the second quarter, Holcomb took over in great field position with about a minute left in the second quarter, where one quarterback picked off the other. And again, Ryan Myers, the Colby quarterback, picking off Kobe Hands, who was replaced at one point in the third quarter by a seldom seen quarterback for the Longhorns in Caden Johnson. But we'll talk about that a little bit more as we look further into this ballgame. But after that interception, the Colby Eagles took advantage of it and rushed for a solid run as Hagen Bowie brought it home from 1 yard out. And that would be how things went into the half. It was 18-7. And from there, it was, again, even more all Eagles as the Colby defense shut down Holcomb to start the second half on a 3-and-out, and then promptly took the ball, 9 plays, 60 yards, and capped it off with yet another 3-yard touchdown run from Calvin Stapp. After that, Hagen Bowie would match yet another touchdown as well, so he got his second of the ball game with this 3-yard run right here. From there, that would make the score 32-7, and Holcomb would answer with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter with a touchdown pass a run after a long 34-yard pass from Hands. He would take care of it himself and make it 32-13, and then Colby would get the ball back starting at their own 33-yard line and took their longest play, or their longest drive of the second half, 12 plays, 67 yards, eating over 7 minutes off of the clock. And punching it in was who else but Calvin Stapp, this time from 11 yards out. And Calvin Stapp is our Colby Dodge, Ram Tough Player of the Game. Here's his stats, and I'm going to say this slowly and let it sink in for you. After this ball game, Calvin Stapp rushed 22 times for 157 yards. He received the ball 3 times for 51 yards, totaling 208 total yards of offense and 4 rushing touchdowns. So, again, 22 rushes, 157 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 receptions, and 51 more yards for 208 total yards of offense and 4 scores from Calvin Stapp, our now 2-time Colby Dodge Ram Tough Player of the Game. But with that, we'll go ahead and take a short break and be back with the post-game wrap-up, as well as we'll chat with head coach Reese McKinney and get you set for next week's ball game against Beloit. I'm Jackson Schneider, and this is the Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show on 100.3 The Ride.
I need a favor from you. I can do that, but first you got to go underneath the stands. My stat sheet flew under there. Can you go grab it for me, please?
Thank you. We're going to be right here. You can sit, stand, wherever you like. Hello. All right. We are at commercial, but as soon as we get back, we'll take care of that. That was a big win for me. My sister actually goes to Holcomb, so she was talking smack all week long. Man, Calvin had himself a ball game.
Oh, yeah. I don't know the stat line. It looked beautiful.
I tallied it up. 22 carries, 157 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 receptions, and 51 yards. So 208 yards total.
That sounds about right.
And that's just what I jotted down with my hand, so I'll go back and tally it a little bit stronger when I get home. But for now, that's where we're at. Oh, man. I already named him the player of the game, but I'll mention that to you to start. There we go. All right, 1 minute. Get another happy bus ride home today.
That's right. We've had, in my tenure, we've had a little trouble on the road, so it's nice to get a couple of them already off the...
Good. Yeah, because now you only got 2 road ones left, so that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other league scores, by the way, Scott City won 55-0. And last I had heard, Ulysses was up on Hugoton 22-14 in the 4th quarter. So. Welcome back into the Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show. I'm Jackson Schneider, joined now by Colby head coach Reese McKinney. And Coach, pretty stellar performance all around from your boys today with that 39-21 win here against Holcomb.
Yeah, they played a pretty solid game of football there. I was real proud of the effort, and they played the whole game. So
it kind of got the game started on the right foot, a really solid touchdown drive on your opening possession, but solid return from Holcomb. They came back and scored 2 plays later. What did you tell your team right after that?
I just said it's next play. We got to move on. We're in this. We're fine. We can move the ball on them. We'll fix the defense, and we did the very next series. So we turned the ball over and been able to get a stop on them right away, push them back out of field goal range where I thought they were in field goal range. And so, yeah, they had a complete turnaround in 5 minutes of game time, and they did a great job adjusting to that to go ahead and win the game.
And a big part of that was who I named our Colby Dodge Ram Tough Player of the Game, Calvin Stapp. Coached 22 carries, 157 yards, 3 receptions for 51 yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns today for Calvin. What can you say about his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. I don't know. I've watched a lot of football, and I don't see a lot of plays that he makes done by anyone else. He just can do some miraculous things, stop on a dime so quick with his feet, moves. He does things I don't think any human should be able to do. So, yeah, that stat line sounds great, and he had a phenomenal game tonight.
Hagen Bowie also had himself a whale of a ball game, 2 rushing touchdowns as well, and I believe he was right around 100 more yards total tonight as well. So you really ran the ball well. What was working for you?
The O-line really started working things out on the line. We picked up some of their blitzing, which kept pressure off our backs immediately that we were seeing last week. So we cleaned up a few of those issues along the line, and I think that really helped the offense move.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for your time, and congrats on the win, 3-0.
Thank you.
All right. That is going to wrap it up here for our Farmers and Merchants Bank post-game show. Make sure to keep it locked. Right here is coming up at 10 o'clock is the Wheat State Scoreboard Show presented by Rocking M Media. So keep it locked for updates from around the state. Signing off from here in Holcomb. Again, Colby winning this one by a score of 39-21. They move on to 3-0 and look forward to Beloit from Denon Field next Friday. Have a good night, everybody, and go Eagles.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach. Have a good one. Drive safe.
I missed your call before the game.
Oh, that was an accident, honestly. I was getting settled, and I actually had talked to my boss about the connection we had, and I think since I had called you recently yesterday, I just, pocket dialed you there, so I apologize for that.
No, it's fine. I'm like, well, you're probably not getting anything before game.
Yeah, no, definitely not. You got a couple more important things to worry about.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah.
About done with the court here?
Yeah, no, I am actually done as of right now, so let me just
You got
go
the
ahead.
battery? I don't want you to...
Here, let me just end my broadcast real quick because I just finished.
Okay.